Max Verstappen claimed a maiden Monaco Grand Prix pole position after edging out Fernando Alonso in the final seconds of a thrilling qualifying session. World Championship leader Verstappen was just over 2 tenths down on the time that had put Alonso on provisional pole by after the 2 sectors of his lap, but produced a stunning finish to edge out the Aston Martin by 0.084 seconds. In claiming a first pole position in 8 appearances, Formula One's most famous circuit, Red Bull's Verstappen denied Alonso his first pole since 2012. Verstappen's teammate and nearest title challenger Sergio Perez will start from the back of the grid after crashing at Q1 at Sandoval, leaving the Dutchman responsible for extending Red Bull's streak of 5 wins to start the season. Charles Leclerc, who was taken pole for the previous 2 years at his home circuit, finished third for Ferrari, but was later demoted to 6th after incurring a 3-place grid penalty for impeding McLaren's Lando Norris. As a result, Esteban Ocon will start third, with Leclerc's teammate Sainz jumping to 4th, Lewis Hamilton jumping to 5th, having produced a strong final lap, having previously only scraped through Q1 and Q2. Pierre Gasly completed a strong Alpine day to take 7th ahead of Hamilton's teammate Russell in 8th, Tsunoda 9th. Norris rounded out the top 10, having made it to the final part of qualifying despite a crash in Q2. But the session has been billed by the most important one of the season, but few could have imagined the drama that was delivered across 70 minutes on the streets of Monte Carlo. There has been speculation coming into the weekend that there could be a 14 fight for pole position, and that did turn out to be the case, albeit with Alpine unexpectedly crashing the party. It became clear across the session that the track evolution and getting out at the right moment was crucial. After some sparring to start Q3, there was a pause for breath as the competitors pitted for fresh tyres for the final stages, with a stunning finale begin. Ocon momentarily allowed Alpine to stream as he produced a brilliant lap to digitalise Verstappen from the top of the timesheet, but Leclerc would narrowly beat his time moments later. Then came Alonso, seeking to build on the brilliant start to the season that seen him claim 4 podiums in 5 races for Aston Martin, with a lap that saw him take ownership of the top spot. That left Verstappen as the only real threat, and Dutchman's wait for pole in his adopted hometown looked set to be extended as he trailed by 2 tenths after an uninspiring first couple of sectors. However, risking it all, he chucked his car around the final corners, held contact with the barrier on multiple occasions, and produced an inspired performance to make up almost 3 tenths. It was a bit tricky for me in the final 2 sectors. The tyres were a bit cold, with the outlap with a lot of traffic. I couldn't do the way I wanted to. From there onwards, I just tried to risk it more and more. I came out of turn 12 and I was like, I need to go flat out, and we might end up in the wall or not. I pushed a few barriers right and left, but luckily it worked out for us. While Monaco's place in the F1 Canada has been questioned by some due to the difficulty of overtaking on Sunday, the finale reminded why everyone loves it. Jenson Button saying, for me, that was the best qualifying session I ever watched. Button's high praise for Sunday's show factored in a frantic first 2 parts of qualifying, which also produced dramatic endings on the other improving track. Before any of that, Perez placed his pole, ensuring the rest of the field was starting a Red Bull sandwich, with the Mexican left in 20th after a barely expecable crash. Perez appeared to be capable of challenging Verstappen after finishing narrowly behind his teammate in final practice, which made it all the more surprising when he made this error away. He had plenty of margin to advance. The only explanation for the incident was that Perez was distracted by an Alpine emerging from the pit lane as he entered Sandoval, but it was a total loss of control that looked set to ensure his 14-point deficit to Verstappen will increase. With Perez contact there is the barrier, there was a terminal. Most others were flirting with danger as the car just about stayed on the track. Hamilton was among those pushing limits after a reasonably positive Friday in the Mercedes heavily updated W14. He was suddenly at risk of Q1 exits. The world champion ruined what was intended to be his final flying lap as he sat in the drop zone, but was fortunate to still have time to go again after an error at the new chicane and took full advantage to sneak through. He wasn't lame, with Sainz also progressing at the final moment, while Hastio, Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hulkenberg joined Zhou Guanyu and Logan Sargent going out. Hamilton was again the main protagonist in Q2, following a similar pattern to Q1 before once more coming through in the closing moments, but there was no such recovery for Alonso's Aston Martin teammate Lance Stroll, who started 14th. Norris, who appeared on for a strong result after finishing 5th in the second and third practice, appeared to have spurned his chance for a high Spartan position when he stuck it in the barrier at the back in the closing stages. The Brit had already done enough to reach Q3 and was indebted to his mechanics after their stunningly fast repair job that put him in a position to be held up by Leclerc in the closing moments of the session. And before I go, let me run you through the classification from qualifying. And Max Verstappen on pole. Yeah, you can say fastest car and all that, but you have to give credit to that last sector. That was just absolutely incredible. Amazing job from him, an amazing job from Fernando Alonso to push that Red Bull so hard. Both of them just absolutely incredible. Leclerc, third, will obviously be so disappointed with that grid penalty. He just doesn't have much luck in Monaco. And yeah, especially with Ferrari's race pace, you say a podium will probably be tough now. But Ocon, what a drive from him. All he has to do is stay there. We know how hard it is to overtake, and he can podium. What an incredible performance from him. Sainz 5th, yeah, not too far off his teammate. I think he'll be relatively pleased with that. Maybe we wish he could have got above Ocon, but yeah, good job from him. Hamilton 6th, bit of a struggle in the first two parts, especially with that practice 3 crash. But yeah, good recovery, pulled out when it mattered. So yeah, credit to Hamilton. I think Gasly will be a bit disappointed considering where Ocon is, but still a good performance for him. Similar thing for Russell as he seems to be in control of Hamilton for most qualifying. But there we go. Tsunoda, great job from him getting to Q3. He's got a great chance of points now. Norris, yeah, obviously got lucky with the mechanics being able to fix it, but did enough to get into Q3, and that's a decent job from him with Piastri right behind him. McLaren will be hoping for some good points tomorrow. And then you got Nick De Vries in 12th. Very much an improved performance from him. He'll be very pleased with that. And if he can keep it clean tomorrow, that'll be a good weekend from him, even if he is still behind Tsunoda. Albon in 13th. Yeah, really good performance from him, I think. The Williams seems to be struggling a bit on this circuit, so yeah, I think I'm pleased with that. And Lance Stroll, though, 2 early eliminations in qualifying. It's just not good enough in the car that Aston have, and you do feel like it is kind of going to cost Aston P2 and the constructors if it keeps going this way. Bottas 15th, Zhou Guanyu 19th, just poor pace from Alfa Romeo, you'd have to say, this weekend. Same for Haas's. Logan Sargent, I don't think he did a bad job to be a bit closer to Albon this week, but yeah, still disappointing. And Perez 20th, you just can't afford these mistakes in the battle against Verstappen, so disappointing. But anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and it's always comments and find show for daily F1 news, and subscribe to my channel, greatly appreciated. Thanks very much.